The more we see of Bandai Namco's action RPG Scarlet Nexus, the more that we're intrigued by it. Its anime aesthetic, unique setting, and flashy combat are promising to come together in what has the potential to be a great game. And with its release date right around the corner, excitement surrounding the game is beginning to ramp up. In this feature, we're going to talk about the key points of information that you should know about the game. Before we go ahead, a quick request. We upload new videos every single day, and your subscription matters a lot. So please consider subscribing and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon. With that out of the way, let's begin. Setting. Bandai Namco describes Scarlet Nexus as a futuristic brain-punk setting, which is another way of saying that it takes place in a near-future alternate reality world, where society and humans have developed technologies based on telekinetic powers. A psionic hormone in the human brain has allowed people to develop psychic and extrasensory powers, but at the same time, mutants known as the Others, hungry for human brains, have also begun dropping out of the sky. Premise. Of course, the people of Scarlet Nexus's world don't take kindly to the Others' appearance and their subsequent attacks on humanity. When regular methods of defense prove to be ineffective, a force of individuals with psionic powers is established, called the Other Suppression Force, or OSF. This group is the world's last line of defense against the Others, and has been tasked with fighting against and eradicating these monstrosities. Protagonists. Scarlet Nexus's story will put the spotlight on two protagonists, Kasane Randall and Yuito Sumeragi. Yuito is a young, bright, and kind-hearted man, and a fresh recruit for the OSF. Kasane, meanwhile, is an elite soldier, and incredibly confident in her impressive abilities as a psionic soldier. Both characters will be playable in Scarlet Nexus, and the story will unfurl as it's told from both their perspectives. Characters. Of course, while Yuito and Kasane are the primary protagonists of Scarlet Nexus, there are going to be plenty of other key characters in the game as well. There's the fresh OSF recruit Nagi Carmen, Yuito's close friend who specializes in aerokinesis. Hanabi Ichiyo, another friend of Yuito's who specializes in pyrokinesis. Fabuki Spring, an OSF veteran and a cryokinesis expert. The grizzled old Jimma Garrison, who's approaching retirement from the OSF. The teleportation specialist Luca Travers, who may look like a young child but has been with the OSF for over 2 decades, and many more. Clearly, the game is promising to have a vast and varied cast of characters. New Himuka. The futuristic city of New Himuka will serve as your hub in Scarlet Nexus. Constantly under the threat of Others, the city is policed by the OSF. Full of skyscrapers, highways, sci-fi city streets, and all the trappings of a cyberpunk setting, New Himuka looks like a promising location ripe for exploration. Meanwhile, there's other locations in the game that have been teased as well, such as an industrial location, a snowy setting, and more. Combat. Scarlet Nexus's combat promises to be a fast and frenetic affair, with plenty of focus on combos and mixing and matching moves against various different kinds of enemies. Melee weapons like swords will, of course, be a part of the equation, but psychokinesis will obviously play a huge role in combat as well. In fact, that's what combat will put front and center. Psychokinesis. Moving things with your brain and using those abilities to attack your enemies will be the name of the game in Scarlet Nexus. Players will be able to lift, move, and throw objects around, but more importantly, the characters you will have fighting alongside you each will have their own unique special set of powers as well, each adhering to different elements or styles of kinetic abilities. With the game's focus on combos, it seems like mixing and matching these abilities to bring enemies down will be a big part of the experience. Struggle Arm System. The Struggle Arm System, or SAS, is going to be a key component of Scarlet Nexus's combat. When your SAS gauge is filled up, you'll be able to use it to activate various abilities of your party members, from duplication, invisibility, and teleportation to pyrokinesis, cryokinesis, and more. Borrowing these abilities from your party members and combining them with your own weapons or psychokinesis abilities will allow you to approach battles in several unique ways. Brain Map. Scarlet Nexus is, of course, an action RPG, which means that there will be plenty of powering up and upgrading going on. Primarily, that will be done through the skill tree known as the Brain Map. Using brain points, here, players will be able to unlock active and passive boosts and upgrades for both protagonists. In addition to unlocking psychokinesis abilities, players will also be able to unlock various traits to upgrade both characters in different ways. Bonding. It wouldn't be a JRPG if it didn't have a mechanic for bonding with party members, and of course, Scarlet Nexus has such a mechanic. Throughout the game, players will be able to interact with and form deeper friendships and relationships with the game's characters. From conversing with them to interacting with them in brain messages to gifting them certain items, there will be several ways to learn more about the characters, form deeper friendships with them, and in turn, seeing that provide more benefits for them during combat. Next-gen upgrades. Like most other major and non-major games coming out these days, Scarlet Nexus is, of course, a cross-gen release. Thankfully, it's also one of several games that supports free next-gen upgrades. So if you purchase the game on the PS4 or the Xbox One, you will be able to upgrade to the PS5 or Xbox Series X and S versions, respectively, for no additional cost. Cross-gen save transfers have also been confirmed on both ecosystems. PS5 and Xbox Series X. So how exactly is Scarlet Nexus going to run on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X? Well, as far as the resolution and frame rate are concerned, you can expect the regular boosts. It will target 4K and 60 FPS on both consoles, as opposed to 1080p and 30 FPS in the last-gen versions. Loading times will also be non-existent on both consoles, according to Bandai Namco. Meanwhile, on PS5, the game will also support the DualSense's haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. PC requirements. But what if you're planning on playing the game on the PC? Well, thankfully, the system requirements don't seem too demanding. On minimum settings, you'll need either an Intel Core i5-3470 or an AMD FX 8350, either a GeForce GTX 760 or a Radeon HD 7970, and 6GB of RAM. Meanwhile, recommended system requirements stipulate either an Intel Core i7-6600 or an AMD Ryzen 5 2600X, either a GeForce GTX 970 or a Radeon R9 290X, and 8GB of RAM. Demo. If you're interested in Scarlet Nexus but want to test the waters before jumping in with both feet, a demo of the game is available, but there are some caveats. For one, it's exclusive to Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. Additionally, the demo will only be live until May 27th. It highlights the combat and features both the protagonists, while playing the demo also gives you a shot at earning DLC in the full game when it releases. Special Editions. When Scarlet Nexus launches, you'll have the option of purchasing a couple of special editions. There's the Digital Deluxe Edition, which, in addition to the game itself, will also include some in-game cosmetic items, SAS plugins to use during combat, a digital art book, and the original soundtrack. Then there's the Guardians Edition, which will include all of the previously mentioned, in addition to even more cosmetics, a steelbook case, an OSF sticker, art prints, a hardcover art book, and 5 in-game weapon sets. And that brings us to the end of the video. A quick request before we conclude. We upload new videos every single day, and if you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out. Also, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon so that you can receive daily video updates. Thanks for watching.